Hi, this is Nancy Jerry, and I am going to share with you my screencast for Module 6, my lesson planning. And the technologies that I chose to use for this were Infuse Learning, which is a student response system, as well as Canvas, which is a learning management system. The rationale behind this is that while I spent 8 years as a certified special ed teacher, the last 2 years I've been teaching in an online credit recovery program for at-risk high school students. And at the start of the second semester, they gave me an additional hour a day to teach, and so I'm back teaching a health class, but this class is for students with moderate to severe learning disabilities. So I created my lessons for this module are created for those students in a health class while we're learning about the cycle of violence. So the technology for using Infuse Learning for my lesson plan is that students would need any Wi-Fi enabled device. And it's wonderful because they can use a smartphone, they can use a tablet, they can use a reader like a Kindle Fire. They can really any Wi-Fi enabled device. What makes this a very powerful program is if the teacher also has a projector and screen so that they can show class results as they go. That makes it more impactful. This is a very basic level to use. The technology can be as advanced as you want to make it. So any of your colleagues that are a little nervous about starting and doing something new, Infuse Learning, it's a great one for them to get their feet wet with. No student accounts are needed. This is yay, right? It doesn't matter how big or small your class is, you're going to have a certain percentage of students that can't log in and forgot their passwords or usernames. So the advantages would be that it's easy, it's flexible, and we all love to gather just a little bit more data. So this also allows for more data gathering. The data can be skewed, but that's not uncommon for any type of assessment. If students don't take it seriously or just think it's, fun to be the one person that got the answer wrong. And if one-to-one isn't available, this technology will still work for you in a lot of other ways. You do not have to have one-to-one available, but for my lesson, you would need one-to-one. So Infuse Learning looks a little bit like this. I have a teacher side on the left and the student side on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and take you out to the working website here. So teacher side on the left, students would input a room ID. They would put in their name or student number if they wanted a little bit of anonymity. And once they're connected, it just says waiting for activity in the room. Over here, this is where I would use it. For my lesson, I'm using it in a formative way. So as I'm going through my lesson step by step, I would stop very often along the way to ask some basic recall questions, remembering that I have students with moderate to severe learning disabilities. Basic recall, if I can get them to recall something I've said a few minutes ago, we're gonna be very successful. So with that, I would click on maybe a true/false question. Ask them if it was true or false that the honeymoon period was in fact one of the cycle phases within the cycle of violence. After they've answered their question and hit submit, on the teacher side, it'll turn gray, so you'll know when everybody has submitted. And then hitting summary, obviously I only have one student in my classroom right now, and it would be a 1 for a true and a 2 for a false. And if we had 1 or more false questions over here, I would make sure to address that before moving on in the lesson. So this is the beauty of it. Multiple choice is something I might also use. So it's not just a 50-50 guess, although for my students, because they would have to hold this information in their head, as I said, is it A, honeymoon, B, tension rising, those are a lot of words for them to hold on, and they can't remember if it was which one I said in which order. So, but this again, the multiple choice piece or the Likert scale, I like an awful lot, just to say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, and you can do it on a 1 to 5, a 1 to 3, strongly agree, highly confident, whichever way you want. So it's very powerful. You can also have your own quizzes already embedded in here. So once you have every student in the classroom waiting for activity in the room, as soon as I was done with all the formative recall type questions, then I could go ahead and send out to them by pushing play. Here's an alpaca assessment. Then all of a sudden they would be able to go out and begin that quiz. So this is infused learning, and if you're a math teacher, please take a second to take a peek at this. You can have drawn responses just by asking them to draw a triangle. Hopefully they draw something, they hit submit, and you'll be able to see all your students' triangles or whatever it is that you want over here. That's where you might want to watch it, whether or not you're having them put their names in. So that is infused learning. The instructional strategies and transference to different teachers, subjects, and grades. I love this this technology for this question. It is fully inclusive. It allows for differentiation, certainly. High interest because kids view it like a video game. It gives you the informative data that we love to collect, and you can stop just because you're asking basic recall questions. You can, of course, on the fly, build for deeper level questions beyond that. It is easy for any grade, subject, and ability, especially for the fact that we do not have to build student accounts and have passwords remembered. So my next lesson is using the discussion thread of Canvas. And originally in my search project, I was going to use Twitter, but because it was so heavily language-based, and not only is it language-based, but you have to be able to really shorten and abbreviate your language to the point where it's understandable. That was pretty difficult for my students for this health class. So I switched over to the discussion thread of Canvas, which might sound odd because discussion threads are language-based, but let me tell you why. The discussion threads within Canvas allow for audio and video recording of answers. So I have some students that might really prefer just to type out their answers and be done, while others can just record an audio only if they don't want to be seen, or audio video if they want to be seen and heard. So any Wi-Fi enabled device works with Canvas. Canvas works really well with tablets and smartphones. Oops, oops, oops. And it's a basic level to use. Sorry about that. It is a basic level to use, and this technology is also as advanced as you want to make it. So they do need the web address and the class code to join the Canvas class, and basic skills for recording and responding for discussions. So this is a point where I would really build on their digital citizenship skills, make sure that they were selecting, because they're going to respond to each other as well. So how to respond to somebody and how to say, I don't agree with you versus you're really stupid. I do have to mention that from time to time. It can be easy and flexible, but this one is definitely going to be a little bit more labor intensive than the infused learning. Disadvantages is it can be really easy to get sidetracked, especially if I'm helping one student. I have another student on the other side of the room that's stuck. It's very easy for them to just say, well, I may as well go to Facebook while I'm waiting, and then maybe never get back to it. So let me flip over to Canvas. So here's my Canvas page where I have an assignment posted. The cycle of violence, which stage is it? I have a scenario written here, but then it also allowed me to insert a little pod, 1 minute and 44 seconds. I ran through this so they can listen to the scenario or they can read the scenario, and then just go ahead and click down here to reply. And when they reply, they can type out their answers. They can click on this little audio record. By allowing here, they can videotape themselves, or if they want to just audio tape themselves, they can do this. With one click of a button, they can start recording. It's one click to stop it, one click to save, and their little audio recording will look just like this down here, and their response thread. So that is super handy. They can post the reply. Most students find this format very familiar. It's knowledge they're already bringing with them. Even the students that I have for this class, every single one of them has a Facebook account. So again, this is the basic knowledge that most of them are already bringing forward to the table. So those digital citizenship skills, it is fully inclusive, high interest, informative, and this definitely allows for that depth of knowledge. You can push them very hard to give me everything that they know about a subject because, hey, all you have to do is tell me what you know. This isn't about how well you can spell. This isn't how well you can get those organized thoughts in your formatting and your punctuation. This is just tell me what you know. And most of them respond really well to this type of way answering for questions. It can be used for almost grade level subject and ability, but I will be very honest, it is a little advanced for your lower elementary groups. Certainly they can use it or any part of it, but I think that there are some learning management systems that are better suited for the lower L's. Those are my 2 lessons that I prepared for my innovative technology that I'm using, and I am using these in my health class, and they're going over really well. So I look forward to seeing everybody else's. See you at the next class.